first do the pledge, and then we will do the roll call. So do you have a flag or just want to stand? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. So to begin, I have a statement that the Attorney General is recommending that is read at the beginning. So to open the meeting, I find that due to the state of emergency declared by the governor as a result of COVID-19 pandemic and in accordance with the governor's emergency 12 order pursuant to Executive Order 2020-04, this public body is authorized to meet electronically. In accordance with the emergency order, I'm confirming that all members of the board have the ability to communicate contemporaneously during this meeting through this platform, and the public has access to contemporaneously listen and, if necessary, participate in the meeting. We previously gave notice to the public of the necessary information for accessing the meeting, including how to access it. If anybody has a problem, they can call 875-9379 and they can get immediate help. Please note that all votes will be taken by roll call during this meeting, and we will begin by taking roll call attendance. When members state their names, you also, according to state law, need to state if there is anyone in the room with you during the meeting under right to know. Yeah, and Pete is Pete with us? All right, shall we start? I'll just go down the list that I see. Everett?
Yes, and nobody's in the room.
Okay. Karen?
Yes, and my dog is in the room.
Pam?
Yes, 2 dogs, no people.
All right, Julie?
Yep, I'm with my dog, and people will wander in and out, but I'm on a headset, so there's no risk of people hearing anything.
Okay, and Peter? I see Peter joined. Peter, you may still be muted.
Oh, there he goes.
No, I'm not.
There you go. Took a minute.
Peter, you want to
Right. Apparently this doesn't work on my home computer. I have to use my laptop.
Okay. Nice. All right. Thank you all. We are going to start with board reorganization. And are there any nominations for chair?
I would like to nominate Peter Levitt for chair.
I'll second that.
Thank you. And do we have any other nominations for chair? All right. Seeing none, all those in favor of Peter as chair, and you will need to do it by roll call. So again, I'll go down the screen here. Karen?
Yes.
Everett?
Yes.
Pam?
Yes.
And Julie?
Yes.
And Peter, I assume that you will accept that?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Congratulations.
Thanks.
And Peter, do you want to take over the meeting from here?
Sure.
Okay.
So let's do the agenda review.
We'll need to
We're
do
still doing
vice chair and the committee.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yep,
Okay.
I'm still trying to organize now that my computers have flip-flopped here. I'm trying to organize here. Yes, vice chair. Okay, I would accept the nominations for vice chair.
I'd like to nominate Everett Clark for vice chair.
I'll second.
All right. Do we have any other nominations? Seeing none, I will have a roll call vote. Karen Karatonov.
Yes.
Julie Brown.
Yes.
And Pam McLeod.
Yes.
I will also vote yes. Everett, would you accept?
Yes.
Very good.
I'm just saying, Pete, the roll call is a lot easier with 5 members than with 10.
Yes. Okay. Shoot, I had all this
Committees.
on my other computer, and now I have to switch back and forth. So we're doing committees. All right. So first, if we could go for budget committee. Last year we had Christy and I was the alternate, which I ended up taking over at the end of the year. Because I have a lot more going on this year, I would like to not be on the budget committee. Do we have any volunteers for budget committee?
I'm in grad classes. I cannot commit to different evenings other than Concord and Alton school board meetings.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat.
I'm happy to be the alternate, but I would suggest that a board member that has not been on the budget committee yet kind of take hold of that, since it is a large commitment that we should kind of spread around.
I know Peter and I talked about it today, and I'm an alternate on the Conservation Commission, and I'm new to this. I would be prone to being alternate, but I don't know what the time commitment is, so I'm a little bit leery because I'm new to all of this to take that particular one on.
All right.
Yeah, that's a hard one your first year.
Mm-hmm.
It is hard. Is there a chance that we could maybe alternate the two of you? How about we have one person and let's nominate 2 alternates? As you all know, it doesn't really get ramped up until the end of the year when we're doing the whole budget process. So perhaps we could do a one committee member with 2 alternates, and if things would shake up at the end of the year, and we can, one person will be able to take the reins.
I'd be happy to be an alternate. I will restate that.
Okay. And I know Everett's got time commitments.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. My schedule's changed. I'm kind of, a 10-day on, 5-day off schedule now. So I'm not sure how that would play out during budget season when the time commitment was there. But I could be available when I'm around. I have no issues with that. I just can't commit to being around.
Well, how about this? I will continue on budget committee. If we can have Karen and Julie, be a good chance for you to get your feet wet, Julie, actually. So I'll have the 2 of you be alternates just in case we do kind of get stuck in a snafu. How's that sound?
Yeah, I'm happy to be alternate. Thank you, Peter.
All right. I will be the budget committee, and we have Karen and Julie as alternates. Excellent. Delegates to the New Hampshire School Board Association. Last year it was myself and Pam. I've actually been the delegate for the last 4 years, and I'm happy to do that again. But if someone else would like to do that, it's to me it's kind of a cool job. So do I have any volunteers for that?
I'm always there anyway because I'm on the board.
That's true. So we have Pam, and is there someone else who wouldn't mind being the alternate?
It is kind of a fun day. It's a full, Saturday? It's a short Saturday in January?
Yes.
January. Yeah. And it's just it's kind of an interesting day. This was my first year going.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll be the alternate for that too. And Pam, during that meeting, because you'll already be there in the January, I will happily go to it because I actually enjoy doing that. So
good time.
Okay, so we have Pam and then myself as alternate. Buildings and grounds. Last year it was myself and Everett. Do I have any volunteers for buildings and grounds?
I'd like to stay with it if there's no objections.
Yeah, Everett, that'd be great.
I love
And-
that committee. I'd be happy to stay, or either way.
And I'm happy to serve where you need me.
Okay. Why don't we Julie, why don't we have you do that? And then so Everett and Julie on there. And then
A lot,
Julie,
going on this year.
what's that?
There's a lot of good stuff going on this year on that committee.
Yeah. Yeah. And Julia, if the time interferes, we can switch things up. It's
We have been meeting at like 7:30 in the morning once every other month or so.
That's
Yeah.
fine. I can do that.
okay. Negotiations. I don't believe we need negotiations, do we?
There has been some talk with the support staff that they might like to have those conversations. So that's a possibility, yes.
Okay. So negotiations, we've had Pam and Everett.
I'd be happy to stay unless somebody else wants it.
I'm happy to stay also.
Okay. Anyone else interested? Yeah. All right. Pam and Everett. Sounds good.
Stop laughing, Peter.
Hey, I'd do it, but I can't. Technology committee. Last year it was Karen.
I'm happy to stay with that. Unless
Okay.
somebody else really wants to do it.
No, I thought you did an excellent job and you were very informed. I would love to have you stay.
Thank you.
Joint loss and safety and wellness, they kind of go hand in hand. Usually the meetings are right back to back to each other.
Peter, if you need to back off on something, I'd be happy to take on that.
Okay. Is there anyone else interested? Karen, that you're more than welcome to. I've actually had a hard time making it to those meetings. So, yeah, Karen, if
Okay.
you take on those two, that would be awesome.
Okay, I'll do that.
All right. And that is our committees. Now I got to find. Oh, there we are. All right. Okay, now we can do agenda review.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as it was presented in our packet.
Very good.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll go through a roll call to accept the agenda as presented. Karen?
Yes?
Julie?
Yes.
Pam?
Yes.
Everett?
Yes.
And I will also say yes. Next, we need to approve the minutes from February 10th, 2020. Those were in the packet.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from February 10th.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on the minutes?
I have one addition on page 4 under public input. Julie had some input there, and I think it just should be noted that that was with regard to policy JBAB.
Okay, that is, so Julie Brown expressed a suggestion concerning policy JBAB.
Yeah, otherwise it was just kind of open.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. Okay, I've got it.
Okay. So let's amend the motion to as amended. That's okay. So any other discussion? Hearing none. Again, roll call vote, and I'll go down my little list of you characters. Karen,
Yes.
Everett,
Yes.
Pam,
Yes.
Julie,
Yes.
and I am also a yes. I like this as you talk. The rotation switches, so it's kind of nice.
Can we take a sec, Pete? Julie had asked about seeing if she could turn on grid view.
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt for technical stuff, but
That's all right.
I can see 4 people at a given time and myself in the top right corner, and I'm in an incognito window because of my other Google accounts. So I don't know if that's what's blocking me or what.
That's all I can see also.
That's all I see.
Yeah,
I might only have it because I'm in my my other Google account that has the extension. But for the next meeting, if you want to add the extension to Chrome, it's called Grid View Meet or something like that. And it helps. It's not native to Google Meet, but it helps line up the Brady Bunch view.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
all right. And I would like to open up for public input at this time. Do we have any public input?
We do not.
Okay. Now, Pam, so we have an IT person. Ethan is going to be in charge of if anyone else logs on.
That's
he
correct.
has control of them. Okay.
Correct.
So, but right now we don't have any. So,
Right.
seeing no public input, I will close that and let's move on to informational items.
How many?
I've hit 0. Nobody but I'm
Okay.
ready to go.
I'm sorry. There's nobody on the line. So just to let you know.
There's nobody on the line. Okay. Okay. So, moving ahead to informational items, let's begin with the financials.
Okay. Wendy, are you on here? I thought.
She's here.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Do you have anything you want to highlight on the financials?
I do not.
Okay.
That was pretty quick.
Yeah.
Nobody can see me. Can anybody see me? Because I don't think my camera's working.
No,
No.
I can't.
Yeah, my light's not on. So.
No, but we can hear you fine.
Oh, good.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Yes.
So I'm on the February version. So the first one in the packet, page 2, at the bottom of page 2, technology. I just had a question about the dues and fees. Are those new fees that we didn't anticipate due to remote learning, or?
My understanding is that some of the items that were taken from this line really should have been taken from the software 650 line, but they had been taken out of the fee line, and that won't happen again. We'll put them under software. But sometimes it's a very thin line between what's a fee and what's software. So that's why it overran.
I totally agree with that. They're basically the same thing.
Yeah.
So is that the same for the dues and fees for special education? Same story?
No, the special education there were some additional organizations that the new technology director belonged to that we did not, obviously she's new, but we have budgeted for next year, and that's why it overran.
The special ed director.
Right.
Okay.
I had one more. I was just curious. So same page, the software line. It just looked like we're way under budget. Is there still a expenditure coming, or did we change the plan?
Well, no, and a very small amount of that is in that fee line, which is overrun.
Right.
And some of that, my understanding was also that there was some science that should not have been put in there, but there was some science software that we ended up by not using.
Okay.
So some of that is going to be a cost savings.
Thank you.
Sometimes with software, the due dates are later in the year too, so
Yeah,
they
that's-
can come in May or June, even June sometimes.
Yeah.
Thank you for clearing that up because I did have a lot of questions. It seemed like software was kind of all over the place with some that were, already over budget and some that hadn't been used at all. So it
Yeah,
helped.
and it has been tidied up, but there were some that just got by, and it shouldn't happen again. I'll just say that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Report. School board correspondence. We have our copies of the district administration book, periodicals. That's nice. All right. That's kind of boring. Let's move on.
Julie might be interested in those possibly. I know a lot of us have seen them, and I know you have extra copies in the office, but they're really good
They are.
school administration magazines.
They are actually, and you can find some pretty good nuggets.
Okay,
in there.
great.
And it's a free subscription too, if you want
I
to
always
subscribe.
enjoy some light reading.
Let's move on to buildings and grounds.
Okay, and you've got the minutes in your packet. We're moving forward on the building projects that we have identified. We're trying not to let this pandemic get in the way of our summer projects. The window bid is all set. We're in correspondence with the bleacher folks and the floor finishing for the gym. We have got cafeteria bid. The chip is just finishing up, so we should be getting that out within the next week. And right now, we're still on target for our projects. For the field, the materials have already, some of the materials have already been purchased to start leveling and seeding and making sure all of that is taking place. Once we know what's going to happen with the schedule for the kids, if we can start some projects early, we will. But right now, we seem to be on target with all of our summer projects, even with the closures of places.
Excellent.
Are we working to use sort of organic fertilizer and that kind of thing?
Rob is in charge of that. He has a background, and so he has been the person who has been really buying the materials for the seeds and whatever we're going to need. So really left that in his hands.
Okay.
The answer to your question, Pam, I don't.
Okay.
I don't know.
I should rephrase that. I would encourage not so much the seed, but any fertilizers to be more on the organic and natural side, since kids are playing on those fields.
And I would urge for watershed for it to not be with added phosphorus if possible. There's no need. Most of our soils are good that way.
That's a good point.
All right. And let's move on to the extra earning report.
Those are just.
Peter? Oh, sorry, Peter. I just had a couple questions on the boiler quotes. Is that something that he's moving forward with, or do we need to accept it as a quote process, not a bid process?
He is still looking at that. We're not ready to expend $100,000, but he is exploring some different options for that boiler because that is a lot. And whether or not we have to replace it, we certainly have the money in the expendable trust for it, but we're not there yet.
Okay, and it did look like on the three bids or quotes that were presented here, they're quite different as far as
Very different.
what they included.
Yeah, they're very, very different. And that's why we're going to take a little bit more time with it.
Okay.
Okay. Extra earnings report. I would assume that, seeing as we don't have any athletics right now, that the stipend for the baseball coach is on hold.
Correct. Correct.
All right, and we don't have to take any action on that, correct? That's just informational.
That's correct.
Anyone have any questions? No? All right.
No.
Well, let's move on to the stars of our show, the superintendent's report, followed by the principal's report.
Well, you get my weekly update, so I didn't want to, spend time on that. I can't say enough about our teachers and administrators and our support staff, and the work that they're doing has just been stellar and just a phenomenal job. I only wanted to add a couple of things. Kindergarten registration, I know we sent it out as a snippet today, but kindergarten registration was scheduled for April 24th, and we will be doing that remotely this year, so parents can at least get their kids registered, know that that's taken care of and fine. We only have 7 right now that are new kindergartners, so that's very doable. And then they'll get screened in July. Also, just wanted to let you know that our committee work has stopped, that we're meeting remotely with our literacy committee, the team reps, our social emotional learning committee, and kindergarten screening. So we're keeping those things going. We're not stopping. Those are continuing. And we're keeping things going. We're doing okay. John, did you want to add?
Yeah, I want me to.
Yeah.
Let me just come over there.
I don't care.
Over here. I'm gonna stand back.
No, go ahead.
I'm gonna stand back from her laptop, but you can all hear me, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, just the only thing I really want to add is a huge thank you, obviously, to my staff, the parents, the community, pretty much everybody, the board, our amazing super for really, she's giving me a look, for really working together. We're all in this together, and but working to make Alton Central School Remote Learning Academy keep going. After my snippet last week asking for feedback, I received a lot. The majority of it was all positive, and I'm happy to report that the ones that were maybe less than positive are already being dealt with and continue with follow through. Just like our students, where some people have an easier time with things, and that same assignment another kid may have a difficult time with. The same with our staff. So adapting to this, some people are, boom, they got it, and some people take a little bit more help. But we, as an admin team, we've been all working together to support our staff to make sure that they have everything they need. So in that case, short of nothing beats being in the classroom, but we have a good alternative. And then the other thing is obviously following the governor's guidelines and making sure that message gets out to parents that, when you hit that time limit, it's okay, no penalty, stop the work, go enjoy life and be outside and be family. So thank you to all of you for your support, and thank you to everybody. So that's pretty much my. Oh, and check the Facebook page. Just back up, and we're trying to post some things on there too. There's a good one from this morning that I did. So
Yeah. Nice.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah,
I just wanted to say thank you to Pam for her weekly update emails, because they've been really great, and also the teacher's newsletter that you shared with us. I really enjoyed reading that.
it's a way for us to kind of all stay together. Those informal conversations that you have every day with coworkers are gone. So it's really just a light way for staff. You got to keep up staff morale. And it's getting, people are enjoying it. So, and it's not one more thing. It's not a burden. So they're enjoying it.
If it's not a huge task, Pam, if we could get some of the video submissions from some of the teachers linked to us as school board members,
Like what?
I've seen like where in the world is Mr. Pap and things like that. Because I've had the good fortune of seeing a lot of them. And some of them are absolutely awesome. And of course, Derek's are, over the top. But yeah, I'd love to see some of the stuff that's going on that maybe we don't get a chance to see all the time.
I'll have John gets into classrooms, and I'll have him forward some. There's some wonderful ones with teachers reading books and doing music, and we'll figure out a way to send you some.
And another thought too is I know that a lot of people have been kind of volunteering to do reading, and if there's a way for us to do that as well, I think it'd be a good way for us to kind of be visible in the school, even when we're not really visible in the school.
Okay.
As school members.
We'll pass that along to the teachers.
That could be a fun. I don't know if they can hear me, but
can you hear John?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I mean our fire department's been doing it, and it's been really awesome. So
yeah,
and maybe that's another thing we can bring it down to the police department or the fire department. I know the police department is already doing some bunch of stuff, but bring it down to the police department, fire department, and have guest readers. I think that'd be a lot of fun too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thumbs up. There we go.
Nice. Okay, will do.
And I would like to thank you, Pam, personally, I reached out to her about concerns about having one-way communication. And within the next 24 hours, there was a call out from Principal MacArthur to parents and requesting feedback. And I felt like everybody was super responsive, and I'm was super impressed, and I'm very grateful. So thank you.
You're welcome. So what we would do for any of our parents.
Okay. Well, let's move on to action items. First, we need an affirmation vote for the remote learning.
So on March 14th, I had sent out an email, seems like forever ago, and it was to get a vote, and we did it by email, for the remote learning plan that we were thinking about the possibility of having to use. And we had 4 affirmative votes and 1 just non-vote, was an absent vote. So I just need for you to affirm your votes.
Which of us was absent?
Pam was absent.
Okay.
I have a really good excuse.
That's okay. We figured you were at a mountaintop somewhere with no internet.
No. I was trying to give 5,000 kids remote learning.
You're a little busy. The motion was that the Alton School Board approves and adopts the remote learning plan and authorizes the superintendent to implement the plan under such circumstances that warrant that action through June 30, 2020.
I will make a motion to affirm the vote is read by Superintendent Stiles.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further talk, discussion, or questions?
Too late now.
Too late now. I know, right?
Well, you're just affirming the vote. That's all.
Yeah, we're approving.
That's how you vote.
Okay. We'll start with Karen. Yes. Okay. Julie?
Yes.
Everett?
Yes.
I am also a yes. And Pam's obviously abstaining.
I don't know why, but I am,
Yeah.
I guess.
All right.
Very good. Okay, next we have the oil bid. Vote to.
So the oil bid came in at $2.076 from September 2020 until May 31st, 2021.
Awesome.
And, a thank you to Heidi at the high school for organizing the collaborative and picking that piece up and coming in with such a great price, but we do need you to vote on that.
I move that we accept the oil bid for $2.76.
No, $2.
Sorry.
2.07.
2.076.
Correct.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion?
Does anybody know what the price of oil is currently?
More
Is
than
that
that.
the gas price or no?
From what I've seen from Dead River, I think it's around 223
Excellent.
currently. Yeah.
All right. Well, I will go through with a roll call vote. Pam McLeod,
Yes.
Julie,
Yep.
Aaron,
Yes.
Everett,
Yes.
and I am also a yes. That passes. Very good. Thank you. Moving on to certified staff.
Peter, we've had a request from a board member to go into non-public before you take the vote. We will have to take it under 91A 3, Roman numeral 2C.
Okay. I will make a motion to go into non-public under 91A 32C
Move that we nominate the certified staff as presented.
Can I just
Go ahead.
end that a little bit to say that you elect them?
Elect. Yes. Sorry, you're right.
So, Pam, are you doing the whole gamut, or?
Yes, let's call that professional staff. So I was looking at the agenda when I made the nomination.
I'll second.
Well, professional staff, I'm going to abstain at, but that's fine.
Oh, yes.
But that's
So
fine.
Could you do the motions for the 2021 year, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. And did I
Okay.
hear a second?
I'll continue
not,
to
I will.
second.
Okay. Okay. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none. Karen Karatonov, start with you.
Yes.
Pam McLeod,
Yes.
Julie Brown,
Yes.
Everett Clark.
Yes.
I will abstain.
Okay.
So the motion passes.
Wonderful. Thank you. Our plan is, I know the RSA tells us that teachers have to have their contracts by April 15th. They'll be getting an email tonight letting them know that they have been nominated and elected, and their contract packets are already completed. Their package, Deb's going to put them in the mail tomorrow morning, and we have a process to get those back for your signature. So we will meet the RSA regulations.
Very good.
Yeah.
Next, April vacation, last day of school.
All right. So, and I apologize for not putting it as really part of your packet, but the results from the poll that I sent out regarding April vacation, the results came in after your packet was uploaded. So I did create for you, you can't do that in this, but I created for you the vacation survey results and broke down for you how many people responded. We had 300 people respond to the survey, so that was excellent.
Wow.
And 62% said, yeah, let's work through vacation, and 38% said, no, I'd like to keep it. So my recommendation, because there's almost 40% who said we'd like to keep like to have a break. So my suggestion is, what if we do Monday, no school? It's a long weekend. We tell the kids your teachers are not available. They can't go online. It's no school. On Tuesday, the 28th, we do an enrichment for core subjects. So the math, English, science, they'll do just fun, quick enrichment kinds of activities for kids. On Wednesday, we do an enrichment day that just the specials do. And then on Thursday and Friday, they're catch-up days for anybody who just needs a little extra time. It gives our teachers, every teacher will have 2 days off that week. The kids can still keep their routine of going in and doing some work on a little bit lighter basis. And if we do that, because we calculate hours, and I took the shortest amount of minutes, which happened to be, I think, third grade, by looking at the number of days and the hours we've done, if we work those 4 days in April, our last day of school can be June 10th. So just thought I'd put that out there as a place to start.
So we had some discussion at the JMA board meeting, which I think is relevant here too, which was about making sure we make allowances for those kids whose parents do have camps up north who are going up to do something like that.
Right.
I think the people who are counting on the week off really may have plans, whether or not it's, kosher or legal or allowed or whatever. People who need a break probably do need a break.
Yeah. And none of these would be graded. They're enrichment. So if the kids chimed in, great. If they didn't, the teacher, I've got an email already to go to the teachers for tomorrow, but the teachers will not take attendance, if you will, during that week at all. So kids will come in and some parents said, well, we'd like to keep the routine. We want to keep the routine of that week. Okay, well, if you do, then you can. But if you don't want to, you don't have to, and there's no consequence for you not doing that. So I'm trying to meet both needs here.
Pam, can I ask you a question about that? I was wondering with the win days, the what I need, like for middle school, I know that the kids who've been struggling are potentially the ones who need the break the most, who could use just a little bit of time to go outside and play and be just one with nature and with their families.
Yep.
And my concern about that is what the expectations are from the staff about students turning in work that they haven't turned in because they've been bombarded or overwhelmed by it, that they'll be performing and using those days to do that work. Like, what's the expectation in your mind?
Well, they could take Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off, those children. And then Thursday and Friday would just be if they need some help to get caught up. If they have assignments that are outstanding, they can go in and get the one-on-one help from a teacher. But these would all be ungraded times. It truly is just, I'm having trouble with this math assignment. I didn't get it in because I don't know how to divide fractions. You know, that kind of thing. It's not, that would be a completely ungraded week.
I appreciate that you're working to meet both sets of needs. It's a lot. There's a lot to accomplish from your side.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is a good compromise presented to really meet both sides, give everyone a break, and at the same time keep momentum where it needs to be kept, take a break where a break is needed.
And then whether we're back or not, the word is that the governor's going to know probably Thursday, definitely Friday, on his sense of when we might be returning to school, if we're returning to school. So my thought is that even if he says June, I can't imagine he's going to stick with the May 4th date. But even if he says June 4th, it gives us a week and a half to come back. So I would come back to you in May and say, do we want to come back for a week and a half, or do we want to continue remote, and what are the pluses and minuses of both of those? So I don't think that there's a downside for selecting a last day of school at this point, because either way, people are burned. There's so much going on besides school that I think just knowing that, okay, the end, I can count on this date to be done is helpful for people at this point. So just whatever you want to do, but just a thought.
It's highly unlikely that anyone's going to go back to school.
Yeah, in fact, the governor said that publicly today on an NHPR interview. He said he's leaning towards no more school, but hasn't made a decision yet. Yeah.
Super, but it's not official.
Yeah.
I want to hedge everything here, but.
And so the advantage for going to pushing the school date, the end of school date up, is just so that there's a sooner concrete end to this. But that's what the impetus is for making this potential decision.
Yes.
In your mind.
Yes.
Because the other side of that is there's no summer camp for kids, so I don't know what the rush is. It's kind of a fine balance, like.
Yeah,
Well, you can't have it both ways. So
I know.
True.
So I'll make a motion that we cancel April vacation and approve the last day of school as June 10th. Considering Superintendent Stiles' plan for a sort of a moderated week.
I'll second.
All right. Any further discussion? All right. Once again, roll call vote. Karen.
Yes.
Julie.
Yes.
Pam.
Yes.
Everett.
Yes.
I'm also a yes.
Excellent. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Pam. That's a good plan.
Thanks. And the plan is that I'm going to send out the details to the staff tomorrow so they know first. And then in Wednesday's snippet, I'm going to send out the message to the parents.
Yeah, just, I know you're going to have it in it, but one of the first questions I saw after Fitzpatrick sent it out for Prospect was, does that mean we get out of school early? So the more details in the communication, the better off we'll be.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yes.
And on that note, Pam, can we say, I'm sure you're already thinking about it, can we say that there will be some way to recognize our 8th graders if we're not allowed to get back together? There's creative ideas in the works, I'm sure.
There are. We talked about that at our admin meeting on Monday.
Okay.
So yes, we are already thinking about that, and we'll let people know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. And okay, at this time, I'd like to open up for public input again.
We had one more thing.
We do.
The middle school grading.
Oh, middle school grading. Right. Yep.
Yeah, this was just a conversation, and I'll encourage John to chime in here. We've been really talking about middle school grades. So this would be grades 5 to 8. There are certainly inequities with support for kids at home. Some have a parent there helping them all day. Some are there with very little support. Some have strong technology. Some have very little. There's just such an inequity. So trying to figure out grades with numbers, I think may not be the fairest thing and the best picture to give of a student's academic achievement at this time. So we've been having some conversations, John and myself and some of the team, about whether or not we should just go to a more pass-fail. I don't like pass-fail. I was thinking maybe satisfactory, unsatisfactory, but that opens up a can of worms I don't think I want to open up. But to have the conversation with you all, that would you be open, and I went on too long here, but would you be open to us going to a more, I'll use the word lenient for lack of a better word, grading. So instead of kids having to get a number grade, we can just go, you've met what we needed, or it's incomplete, or it's
more of a competency-based system, however you want to call it, whatever you want to name it.
Whatever the words we come up with are, but I think it's just, there's no consequence. The kids, we've already passed along information to the high school. The kids are already placed in their classes. We don't have a valedictorian. There's no consequence to not doing numbers, and it seems the right thing to do given the circumstance. So I'll let John's been having some conversations with Shay as well, so I'll let him.
I mean,
oh, you want to come over here?
No, I'm good. I think can everyone hear me from here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I mean, we've had a lot of conversations with this. I've also reached out to my team representative, my team reps, as well as, we've talked to admin team, just about, Pam basically said it. This is a difficult situation. We're on uncharted waters, and we're charting our way through, and there's no textbook for this, what we're going through right now, but really taking that stress off of families. And I agree with Pam. I don't like to say the words pass, fail either. I think there's too much of a negative connotation with that. I think we have some ideas in the works of how we can word it and what we can do for the kid that's got everything done, and then the kid that's working their hardest, but they may have to, they may have exceeded the time limit. And so we want to make sure that we have something that's equitable and fair for all of our students, and at the same time not inducing tons of stress. And I know that the staff has different opinions about it, but we actually have reached consensus that if you were to approve, going to a, for lack of a better term right now, a pass-fail system, a less
True competency.
Yeah.
It is a competency.
Mm-hmm.
that we have consensus on that staff-wide. So
I would be disappointed if we didn't. I think it's really necessary right now.
Yeah, I do too.
I agree.
Mm-hmm. And it's a good segue into competencies and all of that work that I know you're doing.
Yeah.
I think it might be really helpful too going into the non-spring break week for parents to potentially know that, so students aren't as worked up about what's happening during that week.
Yeah. Are you
Just a question to clarify. So that would mean if somebody was placed past Algebra 1, for example, in high school, that's still a possibility, right? Based on performance so far
That is
as far as placement in high school classes.
Yeah, so they're still going, so let's see if I can put it right. So a graded class would not have to give up grading per se, because Algebra 1, because they have to show that they've mastered the content in order to go into Algebra 2. And so that teacher can still give that student a grade, but on the report card, it would say pass. Then the information about that student's mastery would go to the high school.
Okay.
Just the report card itself wouldn't have a number on it per se.
Okay.
But especially, Karen, you're absolutely right, especially for a class like that high school teacher is going to want to know what the mastery is, and the students are still going to have to take the end of the year final for algebra, like they do at the high school.
And that's really the only class we have like that.
Well, and then 7th graders who are trying to get into Algebra 1 additionally.
Yeah, and remember, the teacher that teaches the 7th graders the math is the same teacher that's going to teach them in 8th grade. It's the same teacher. So she knows what those kids' skill level is and the kids that should be moving on. So it's that's one of the benefits of having a tiny school.
So I move that we approve a, quote, pass-fail or competency type of middle school grading system for the rest of this year.
And to clarify, is that 5th through 8th grade? I'm sorry.
It is.
Okay, thank you.
Sure, because grades 4 are just mastery levels. So they only have, meets, exceeds, emerging kind of things, 1, 2, 3, 4s. They do not have.
Thank you for the clarification. I'll second that, Pam.
Any other discussion? And again, Pam, we're talking about, there's not going to be any negatives as far as AP classes or anything like that.
That's correct. None.
Okay.
None.
Perfect. Okay, we have a motion and a second. I will go down our list again. Julie.
Yes? Sorry, food in the mouth.
Pam.
Yes.
Karen.
Yes.
Everett.
Yes.
I'm also a yes. Passes.
Excellent. Very much. That will really help. Thank you.
Perfect.
Thank
okay,
you.
now I will open up for public input again.
Nope. Ethan, is there anyone on the line? No, nobody's there.
No public input. Perfect, because my battery's at like 4%.
Okay, good.
Future of agenda items.
I just wanted to add one. I want to make sure that in May, we do lunch prices for 2021. We need to do that at the next meeting. And we'll be doing the handbooks are already there, but lunch prices is something we have to do next meeting.
Okay.
Great. I move we adjourn.
I'll second.
I'll second it.
2 seconds. All right. Should I go down the list? Let's see. Karen?
Yes.
Yeah. Everett?
If I sign off, does that count? Yes.
Well, no, because my battery could die any minute now. And then there'll be a vote. Pam?
Yes.
Julie?
Yes.
All right. I'll vote yes, too.
Thank
Meeting
you,
is adjourned.